welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. My name is Nandria, and on my channel I create grad school related content as well as some lifestyle videos on the side. So as you guys can tell by the title of this video, I will be giving you all a semester goal list, and this is just going to be some goals that I have set out for myself for this semester. And for those of you who are new to my channel, or if you aren't new but don't know, I am a developmental psychology PhD student. I know, it's crazy. And this is officially my second year in the program, and the program is 5 years long. So every semester I come on here, well, I try to come on here every semester and give you guys just some goals that I have set for myself for the semester, or I might just do the year. I don't know, this year is kind of weird for me because for the fall semester, my advisor would be on maternity leave. I usually thought like a year ahead, but now I'm just trying to take it semester by semester because taking it a year ahead can give you some headaches. So these are just going to be my goals for this fall semester. Yeah, let's get into it. So I know previously in my older semester goals videos, one of my goals were to get a 4.0, or basically just get A's or maintain good academic standing in my class. But this semester I'm only taking 2 classes, and one of them is a professional development class, and it's not really like test exams, you know, you're graded based on bettering your professional development. I don't know how to describe that. So I will be focusing less on academics this semester and more on professional development and just building my CV outside of the classroom. So that's why if you guys hear, like, don't hear, I should say, me focusing on grades or anything, it's just because grades for me this semester aren't as important because there's just like other stuff going on right now. And not to say that grades aren't important, they are important, but at the point that I am in my program, we're focusing less on grades and more on building yourself as an academic outside of the classroom. So that will lead us straight into my first point. My first goal. So my first goal for this semester is to update my CV. And with that, I mean, with your CV, you have like basically all of the things that you do in grad school, not just grad school, but like in your career or academia or whatever it is that you are doing. So what I specifically want to work on for my CV are my sections of service and papers. So service, it's basically just like, it's kind of like volunteering, but like, how do I put this? You don't really think about it until you have to explain it to somebody that already doesn't know. So this kind of threw me for a loop. But service is basically like things that you do, like where you volunteer your time to help others. It's volunteer work, but in a different aspect of volunteer work. So for example, sitting on a committee that helps a grad student advance in their academic career, that counts as service. I'm kind of like thrown for a loop, but see, this is why I kind of want to focus on working on my service portion of my CV, because I'm not too familiar with all the service opportunities that are out there. And it's also very important to have service on your CV. It's just so that people, whether you're in academia or going into industry jobs or whatever you want to do with your life after graduation, it's just so that they can see that you're willing to help and share the knowledge that you have acquired during your time in grad school. So for this semester, I specifically want to acquire 2 services. One that is going to be my future career related, and another that is just going to be whatever I can find, really. But all in all, I want to make sure that these 2 services are relevant to my research interest as well. So the way that I want to set up my CV is that it tells a whole story. So in the beginning of my CV, I have my research interest. And my research interest, for those of you who don't know, I don't think I've actually said it on this channel. It's because I'm still like solidifying it. When I first came into the program, I came in with a broad research interest, and now I'm kind of like narrowing it down a bit. But right now, my research interests are contextual impacts on academic achievement of minority adolescents, specifically focusing on familial influences. So when it comes to service, I want something that is related to that. So one of the things that I'm looking to participate in is a board for elementary school or something like that. In my head, I don't really know if this will be like actual how it goes, but I feel like serving on a board for like a school or a parent committee or something like that will help me just get familiar with that kind of setting. And it kind of also creates the story that my CV is creating of my academic interest. My research interests are familial impacts, and I'm also getting associated with the family side of academics. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So I'm hoping to obtain 2 services by the time that this semester is over, so by December 2021. And I'm hoping to maintain those 2, if not at least 1 by the end of my graduate career. And then the other section of my CV that I'm looking to work on are papers. So currently I only have 1 paper, and it's not even like published in an actual accredited journal. So I'm looking to work on my papers this semester and get them in a good standing so that I can start looking for journals that I feel like this paper would be a good fit for. Now, this goal isn't necessarily just for this semester, but I have this goal broken down. So like I focus on the paper for this semester, and then I focus on the journal for next semester, and hopefully by next summer I can have a good idea of where I want to send this paper, and the paper actually be hopefully finished by that summer so that I can actually submit it to the journal. This goal I'm a little bit flexible with because my advisor is on maternity leave this semester, so working with her to like make edits on this paper and go back and forth, it's a little bit, I don't want to say impossible, but it's just a bit harder because she is on maternity leave, and I kind of want to respect that she's on maternity leave by not like sending her edits. So we have like a once a month check-in where I would send her my paper, and she would make comments and edits, and then she would send it back on me to work on again. But because it's only once a month, that kind of makes the process a bit slower, which is why I'm very much flexible with this goal, because it's kind of like out of my hands. I can't really control much of that. So that's why I have this semester, I will focus on the paper and trying to get as much done on this paper and get the paper as ready as I can. Next semester, look for the journals that I want, and then based off of the journals that I feel like would be a good fit for that paper, go back and make edits to the paper, and then by summer, hopefully submit the paper to the journal. So that was kind of like an extended goal, but I just want you guys to see how I kind of break it down, because in grad school I've realized you have to be very, very flexible. Not very flexible, but like you have to be willing to understand that some things are out of your control, and because of that, things will not go as planned, and you can't let that get you down, because if you do, then you probably will have to drop out. Because when I tell you, I don't think anything has gone my way since I've come to grad school, but it's okay. You just have to go with the flow, and I'm still very successful according to my program and according to me, which is the most important. And then my second goal for this semester is to work on my professional development. So after graduation, I don't plan on going to academia, and by academia I mean I don't want to continue doing my own, like I don't want to have my research lab, and I don't want to be a professor. Sorry for those who do, but that's just not for me. So currently I want to go into policy or just a regular government job that pays well. So because of that, I'm trying to figure out what specific areas that will be best for me. So to do that, I will be conducting informative interviews, and that's where you talk to someone that is in the desired field or position that you are in, whether it be like, for me, I have an interview with someone that works in education policy, and I have a couple more that I'm interested in that work program offices, and there's another one, I can't remember where she works in. But all of the people that I am doing my informational interviews with, there's 2 requirements that I have. One, that they're not in academia, and if they are in academia, it's just in conjunction with something else that I'm interested in. And second, they're a woman. And the reason why I want them to be a woman, because I feel like women have very different experiences in everything than men. So I want to know like what it's truly like what the work environment is like, what did it take to get to where they are, and any advice they might have for things that I can do now or like throughout my graduate career that can help me become a competitive candidate for when I am applying to these jobs. So those are gonna be what I basically do my informative interviews on. I have more questions, but some of my questions are going to be tailored to that specific person. None of these people work in the same field or area or anything like that, so like I want to have I want to go very specific with this informative interview. I have about 30 minutes or so. I'm hoping they go longer because like I can develop questions from questions, and questions from like if they say XYZ, I'm gonna be like, okay, now I have a new question. So I'm hoping that I can get as much information as possible so that I can make as much of an informative decision when I actually graduate. And lastly, networking. So this one, it was for fall semester because I wanted to build up the courage and whatever else I would need for it, because I'm a pretty shy person and I'm always one to like count myself out before I actually should. So this goal is, I created this goal for this semester, but it's really for next semester. So it's networking. And this is just networking, not just specifically for other graduate students or graduates or developmental psychology graduates or psychology graduates, but people in psychology generally. I want to become familiar with those people and their work and what their interests are and where they want to end up after they graduate, or like where they have ended up after graduating and stuff like that. Networking is so important when you're in graduate school. Like, I would be talking to some people, they're like, oh, I know so-and-so that will be helpful for so-and-so, and like, that's just really how you get your foot in the door. A lot of people say it's not what you know, it's who you know, and I just have to like reiterate that because it is so true. And I have realized that like in graduate school you do have to know something, but also knowing some people who also know something is very helpful. So right now I'm trying to like look for conferences that I feel like would be of interest, because conferences are usually spring and summer. There are a few conferences in the fall, but like none that are in like my field, or none that I'm interested in that I know of. So I'm basically kind of like gearing myself up. So I'll probably start practicing from now, like getting comfortable talking to people I don't know and like finding out their interests and being able to talk to them about their interests. And that's another thing that I have to prepare for, is like basically getting more familiar with the current research that is out so that I can actually have something to talk about. Like, wouldn't you hate it if someone came up to me like, hey, what's your interest? And then you tell them and then that's it. Like, they have nothing to say. So I want to be actually knowledgeable about some of the things that they're talking about. Like, if you're interested in genomic sequencing, maybe I could have, like, right now I could not comment a thing about that. So it's like the conversation would end there and people would be like, well, you just wasted my time. Versus someone comes up to you and be like, hey, what are your interests? You say genomic sequencing, and they say, oh, do you like so-and-so, or do you prefer so-and-so? And you're like, oh my gosh, they actually do know something. Let's have this actual conversation. And because they enjoy that conversation, then they're like, let's stay connected, you know? So that's kind of like what I'm planning to do. So I'm basically like preparing myself to network and then actually hoping to network. So I just have those 3 mini goals. Like I said, grad school does its own thing. So I'm not creating these big old goals. Like I have in my professional development class, we have worked on 5-year plans and then term planning, semester planning, and then like monthly planning, and I have those. But these are like my big goals that I want for this semester that I truly want to focus on. And I'm going to go back and say, yes, I do have classes and I am going to pass these classes, but passing classes aren't like the priority right now, because for what I've realized in grad school, if you do the work, you're going to pass. So I'm not really worried about that. Do your homework, go to class, you know, ask questions, you're going to pass. But these 3 things, working on my CV, networking, and actually working on professional development, those are my big goals, because second year is much closer to 5th year than 1st year. So I really need to get the ball rolling on that, and I don't want to procrastinate too long where it's like I'm in my 4th year and I only know one person, I only have one paper, and I'm just like assed out. So yes guys, those are my goals for the semester. I'm telling you guys so that you guys can keep me accountable and that I can also keep myself accountable as well. I hope you guys liked, and if you have any questions regarding graduate school, semester planning, 5-year planning, or any other grad school related content that you would like to see, please comment them down below, and don't forget to like and share, and I will see you in the next video.